Hi friends, I'm Emily Fletcher from Ziva Meditation, and I want to talk about something that is really surprising to a lot of my students when they start meditating. Because a lot of us, when we start a meditation practice, we secretly hope that it's going to make us just never feel anything again. We want to have it as an escape or some way to numb ourselves, or that we will never feel sad or angry or jealous again. But the reality is that meditation actually makes you more sensitive. Now, don't be scared, okay? Just because meditation makes you more sensitive does not mean that your life gets worse. Now, a lot of us are trying to go through life protecting ourselves, but I would actually argue that the sensitivity is a superpower, right? So here's an analogy that I like to use of slate, sand, and water. And this is designed to illustrate how meditation starts to impact your nervous system over time. So imagine that there's like a 90-year-old native New Yorker, like there's this dude who's like lived in New York his whole life. Imagine like your crotchety super, and imagine that his nervous system is so hardened that it becomes like a piece of slate. Okay, and then let's say that there's a demand. The artist formerly known as stress, which we like to call high demand at Ziva, imagine that that is a crowbar. Okay, now imagine that this stress or demand, this crowbar, pulls across the slate and it makes a gash. And it would take years of wind and rain and sand and erosion to smooth that gash out, right? So we've got our old crotchety man, something happens to him, he gets stressed, and it takes years for his body to recover. Now imagine that our friend starts meditating and his nervous system starts softening. He starts becoming more adaptive like sand. And then he has the same stress, the same demand, the same crowbar, and he pulls it through that sand. It's going to cut even deeper. He's going to feel it even more. But within a few hours of wind, then it's like it was never there. Now imagine that he's been meditating for years, okay? His nervous system has become more adaptive, and it's become softer, and it's become as adaptive as water. Now imagine taking that same crowbar, pulling it through the water. It's going to cut the deepest. He's going to feel it the most, and then instantly, it's like it was never there. And this is what meditation is doing to our nervous systems. In the beginning, our nervous systems are like slate. We have a stress, we have a demand, and we feel it and we hold on to it for years. We have PTSD for years. Then we start meditating. In the beginning, we become like sand. Something happens to us, we feel it a little bit more intensely. And then in a few hours, it's gone. We've forgotten it. And then eventually, after a few years of practicing, we become so adaptive that when something happens, we feel it the most. We feel it the most intensely, and then almost instantaneously, we move through to the new now. And this concept of the new now is a really valuable one, because the reality is if you can get yourself into the present moment, right here, right now, this is always where your bliss and fulfillment live. Our stress hangs out in the past and the future. And once you have a technique to get yourself into your body, into the right here, right now, then we're always drowning in abundance. We're drowning in bliss. And if you're currently being attacked by a tiger or your cat just died, then be sad, be stressed. It's okay to feel those things. Meditation is not meant to make you numb or to make you not a human. Pain is part of the human experience, but suffering is optional. My personal experience from teaching close to 15,000 people to meditate is that the more you meditate, the less suffering you have to experience. And this is my new mission at Ziva, is to eradicate the planet of unnecessary suffering. Some suffering, I get it, it's part of life, but unnecessary suffering? Why? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are we doing this to each other? Because stress is actually contagious. So while meditation might feel a little selfish, know that as you heal yourself, you're helping to heal the collective. So I hope this slate, sand, and water analogy has been helpful. If you want to learn more, you can check out all of our different courses over at zivameditation.com. All right, friends, have a beautiful day, and be the water, my friend, as Bruce Lee likes to say. Be the water.